in some cases you might have some empty cells. Let's look what we have to do in that case. If there is no data with regard to one cell, I mean if a cell cannot be filled because the data are not applicable, we have to leave it blank. Okay, leave the cell empty. And we can actually use a general or a specific table node if we have to explain why this cell is empty. I mean, if there is one specific reason or one general reason for us to leave it blank, we have to define that reason. We have to tell the readers that the reason is this and that. So the readers will understand that we left it blank because of some reasons, and the notes will actually tell them why. And in some cases, if a cell cannot be filled because data are missing or the data are not obtained or not reported. For example, the person who collected data do not know what the exact number of that cell is. Okay, or we couldn't collect the intended data with respect to that specific cell. In such cases, we have to insert a dash in that cell. Okay, if the data is missing for any reason, we have to put a dash in instead of the data because we don't have a data. And at the end, we have to actually explain the use of the dash in the general node to the table. At the end of the table, we have to use a general note. You know that we have to write note in italics and then describe why the cell, for example, the cell A is blank, the cell B is blank. And in some cases, with regard to correlation tables or matrices, we have to put a dash in the main diagonal position. Let's look at the actually correlation table and see what is gonna happen. So in that case, we have to use a dash. Okay, and we don't leave it blank. We do not leave it blank. Instead, we use a dash. This is a correlation table. We discussed it earlier. We have here the stop column and the number of variables here. We have 7 variables: internal, actually external status, manager job performance. The third is a starting salary. This fourth is subsequent promotion. And you see that we have 7 variables here. And we have the same 7 variables here. Okay, you see this. And we want to know the actually correlation between this variable with this one. I mean the correlation between this and this one and this one, this one and this one. Since this diagonal position here shows the correlation between this variable and itself, between A and A, between B and B, between 3 and 3, between 4 and 4, it equals to 1. This means that we have actually a complete correlation here, positive correlation here, 1 1 1 1 1, as you know. And since the numbers are all 1 here, we have to put a dash. Okay, we have to put a dash here. This is the story of this dash instead of empty cells. And why this part is empty? Because this part is gonna tell the same story as here. Okay, we have here the same numbers, but let's put a mirror here. If you put a mirror here, the mirror will show you the numbers. This will be placed here. 7, 7, the correlation between 7 and 1. Here is the 7 and 1. Okay, if this is the 7 and 2, 7 and 2. If you look at here, you should go here, 2 and 7 here will come here. Okay, and the reason for this actually empty cell or these empty cells here is that we have the same numbers here. Once again, we didn't write it here. Okay,